What's up, guys? This is Daniel from Arms Family Homestead, and you know, sometimes there's just things in life that you just got to scrap it and move on. And I'm not talking about scrapping this Kubota tractor. I'm talking about all the scrap iron I have laying around on my place. Yes, we still have our Kubota tractor here for the time being. I don't know how much longer we're gonna have it. I really don't have a deadline as to when Great Plains Kubota is gonna come pick it up. I did talk to him yesterday and told him that I wasn't gonna be buying this tractor. So we are in the works of turning it back in. And Bear came for a visit. But while I've got it, like I said a couple videos back, I'm trying to do as much work as I possibly can while I still have it, because I don't know how long it's going to be before I get another grapple bucket. And some of the implements that I have for this Kubota tractor, like the big disc. I'd love to be putting in food plots right now with that big disc, but the ground is like almost impossible to drive a stake into, as you may or may not have seen me fall down trying to push a metal stake into the ground a video or two ago. Well, that didn't work. Anyways, my big mower, the big rotary cutter there, brush hog, I do have one for my older John Deere tractor, but as you can see, that is not supposed to be on top. That's supposed to be underneath. A couple years back, I actually broke the main shaft on this from the gearbox down, so that shaft would go into the bottom of the gearbox, and you wouldn't believe how expensive it is to fix one of those. And that's why that one hasn't been fixed yet. I priced a few, tried to find some scrap ones, and John Deere wanted like $2,000 to fix it for a 12-year-old mower. I just couldn't see doing that. But anyways, the point of the video is we're cleaning up some old scrap iron. Scrap iron prices right now are incredibly high, so it's a good time to be doing some farm cleanup and getting rid of a few things. And I'm sure there's going to be a few people that are going to be upset with me for some of the stuff that I'm sending off to the scrapyard, because could it be fixed? Possibly. Could it be used for something? Possibly. Some people keep some of this stuff around just for decorations on their farm. I'm not attached to it, and some of this stuff has been literally sitting here my entire life, really not ever used. So the first thing I dug out, I wasn't going to video all this, but then I thought, man, somebody might be interested in some of this stuff. This, let me know in the comments section if you know what this is. Pause the video, leave a comment. It's kind of upside down right now. It is a 3-point attachment that goes on a tractor. Why don't we just let it down first? Whew. About fell down, guys. Alright, so this little contraption, as I said, is a 3-point implement that goes on the back of a tractor. Obviously the PTO shaft is all rusted up and seized up, but this is a wood splitter. So this bar would stand up like this, okay, if it's on the back of a tractor. When you engage the PTO shaft, that corkscrew like mechanism right there spins, okay, and then you take a log, you lay it long ways like this, okay, and you push it up against there, and that corkscrew goes into the log and splits it. It works fantastically, or it used to work fantastically. It hasn't been used in probably at least 20 years. The problem is, it's a death trap, and I'm not kidding. That thing right there, if you're not careful and a log gets a little too short, or you don't quite get it on that after that corkscrew goes in, however fast that corkscrew is spinning is how fast that log will spin around and slap you in the arm. It could break your arm very fast. Then the next thing I'm going to get rid of, could it be fixed? Yes. Has it been fixed in the last 20 years? No. It's a 3-point bale spike. There's not a lot to it, really. Golly, it's heavy though, my goodness. But this thing has been probably rebuilt, I don't know, 5 or 6 times. I mean, there's not a whole lot to a 3-point hay spike. Obviously, it's but it's very heavy, so several hundred pounds. But the problem is now in the grass. Oh, look at that spider. Big garden spider. What are those called? Banana spiders? Yeah. Well, I don't like spiders, so we'll give him his space. So this was homemade about 30, 40 something years ago, I don't know. But these little ears were too thin, so they bend pretty easily, and this one's actually broken off. Yeah, we could cut it, re-weld it, redo it, and all that. But I've got one over here that's perfectly fine. Does the job. It's what I need to use. I mean, it is what I need. And this one we always had problems with, so that one's going to the scrapyard. The next thing I'm going to scrap is definitely not my rototiller, although it's kind of laying in the way. It's this old disc harrow back here. Probably hasn't been worth using since the 1970s, if I had to guess. I'm tired of looking at it. It's been sitting here forever, and this big I-beam on here was basically just used for extra weight. But really all it did was stick out so that you clipped a tree or something. But I mean, it worked. It did its job. It served its purpose at one point in time. But it's pretty much trash now. It doesn't look like much here, but most of the discs are rusted and broken or chipped and tore up on the front half. Some of the gangs don't even turn anymore. And like I said earlier, it's been setting for 2 decades. It's time to go. And the next big thing that's going to go to the scrapyard is not Bella. Is this big okay, don't quote me on this. I think it was called a spring tooth harrow. But the 3-point hitch is all jacked up, and I watched my dad try to use this unsuccessfully multiple times in my lifetime, and I'm gonna have to dig it out of the ground. It never worked like it was supposed to. Bella, are you enjoying yourself? Huh? So, like I said, it's been sitting here most of my life, so it's time to go to the scrapyard. And when you're talking scrap, you got long iron and short iron. You can get better money for short iron if you cut things up. I believe it's 3 or 4 feet in length or less. You can get better money. So if I chop that up into little pieces, could get more money. But I'm gonna spend a couple hours out here with a cutting torch, something like this. The scrapyard guys are gonna come through, cut, boom, it's done. You know, I mean, I'm sure some of you guys are gonna be upset with me for some of the stuff I'm scrapping, but it's been sitting here for decades. It's just time to go. pretty sure every man is obligated to say, she ain't going nowhere, boys. Well, there's a couple £1,000 worth of scrap iron. I'm gonna see if Houston wants to go for a ride, and I'm gonna make sure it's all good and secured. I think it's fairly snug, but we're gonna run to the scrap yard and see what we get for all that. I did go ahead and throw these I-beams on here. I know that's probably gonna get me yelled at, and this other I-beam was pretty much rusted in place. So several £100 of steel, and we're gonna go get paid for it. So we're fixing to pull into the scrapyard here, and it's a pretty simple process. I mean, honestly, you just pull up to the gate. They've got a bunch of clipboards sitting out there with big numbers on them, and you grab one of those clipboards. When you pull on the scale, you hold that clipboard up to the camera so they know who you are, what number to, you know, to count you to. They get your weight, you pull across the scale, pull off, and then they've got several different places they unload for different types of stuff, and they'll unload you. You pull back across the scale, show them your number again, and they get that weight. They take the original weight minus your empty weight, and you go inside and get paid for your metal. Noticed these tractors sitting down here at this feed store the last time I was here. Some little Branson tractors. Never actually driven one of those, but may have to check one out. Now they have two different excavator machines here. One's a big magnet and one's a big claw, and I'm not sure why they're trying to unload all this pipe with the claw. Maybe the one that's a magnet's broke down, but they shouldn't have any problem unloading my stuff with a claw type. But the magnet definitely would have worked better on that load right there. Look at that. No dumping. I find that funny. So I'm definitely not a fan of driving my truck through here, because there is no telling what all is on the ground out here to get in your tires. So I'll probably end up with a flat tire on the way home. But let's go check out and see how much money we made. By the way, here's this other big excavator with a magnet on it. It must be broke down. It's either broke down or it was quitting time for him, because it's not running anymore, or currently. There's a big magnet. So just like when we came in, we're going to pull out the gate, go through the scales, show them our number, and head to the office. Maybe we'll even clean our windshield at some point. Come get a closer look. So I like that configuration, although, so I am looking for a new tractor, but one a little bit bigger than that cab tractor. But man, that little thing right there would be handy with a backhoe for sure. These are Branson tractors. I've never used one. I know Hank Hamilton from Hamiltonville Farms, a Branson guy. That cab tractor is probably a little smaller than what I need, but I don't know. Might be worth looking at. Well, I made it back home and I'm officially $123 richer than when I left. So $123 for that load of scrap. I mean, obviously it's not a ton of money, but they're paying $8 per 100 pounds, or I think what's it, $160 a ton for long iron / tin. They pay the same price for what they call long iron or 10 loads or just junk. Now, if you want to cut it up and do short iron, and I think that was like $220 a ton. So you get paid a little bit more if you want to go through the work of cutting it all up. But yes, I know I probably could have done some work, just like on the round bale mover that goes on the back of the tractor. Probably could have put, I don't know, 2 hours worth of time and, you know, a couple pieces of plate steel and done a little bit of work on it, and probably sold the thing for more than what I just sold that whole load of scrap iron for. But here's my thing. It's been sitting here for, I mean, 20 years at least, give or take a few years, something like that, unused. I'm not gonna fix it. I might as well get rid of it. So getting rid of 1,500 pounds of scrap iron, basically, I mean, I'll take it. That's the second load I've hauled off in the last week. The first load was literally just like old rolls of wire and some of the stuff from when I tore down this old barn, and then just some pieces of scrap pipe and a whole bunch of just trash. That's part of living on a farm. I mean, there is just, especially when it's a farm that has been around for a couple generations, or a piece of property that's been owned by the same family for a couple generations, you collect inventory over time, I guess. And sometimes that inventory is just trash sitting there that needs to either be sold or hauled off for scrap or something. Actually, probably, so I've hauled off 2 loads of scrap iron myself, but like when we put our new roof on our house, you know, it's a metal roof, all that sheet iron. I actually called a cousin of mine who hauls scrap iron for a living. He took all of that old metal roof and was going to put up a small lean-to shed or something, so he could reuse some of it not so much. But I think I let him haul off like 2 or 3 16-foot long flatbed trailer loads of scrap iron. He hauled off a lot more than I did. I just hauled off a bunch of the big stuff. We've got a ditch down there that I'm not real proud of. I've never shown it on YouTube, but you know, old timers used to they didn't have dumpsters and places to haul their trash to, so they just piled stuff in an old ditch and filled it in over the years. And I've been on farms that have, you know, tons and tons and tons of just scrap metal and baling wire and washers and dryers and dishwashers and just stuff. It just accumulates over the years, over the generations and decades. But sometimes you just got to clean it up and get rid of that stuff. So yeah, still have the Kubota tractor. Like I said, I don't know how much longer I'm going to have it here, but you know, lifting some of that heavy stuff with that grapple sure is way easier to do than trying to do it by hand. A lot of that, you know, like that big disc, that was never going to be used again. There's no way I could have picked it up by hand. So I will make sure on whatever tractor I get in the future, we will have a grapple bucket for sure. But anyways, I think I'm gonna go feed the animals real quick. It's actually pretty nice this evening. We don't have any ball games. Like I said, early mornings and late evenings are getting really nice in Oklahoma. So I'm gonna go feed the animals and see what the family wants to do this evening. Everything's packed in there real nice and tight right now. Oh, like an avalanche. Rufus, what's up, my man? You all alone? Where's everybody else at? Hey, there's the girls. What you doing, Lucy? Freedom, you're looking thick, girl. When you gonna have a baby? Hmm? Steve, you're not allowed to say this, but I'm going to. Freedom is looking mighty wide in the midsection. Now, I don't know when she's gonna have a baby, but she's getting quite a belly on her. What is it, Rufus? You need to cool down? It's not that hot today. I mean, I'll give you a bath if that's just what you really want, but okay, I got a water. I gotta have drinking water. Get ducks, they said. It'll be fun. Ducks. Those guys, their whole mission in life, their whole goal in life is to make clean water into dirty water. And they're very, very good at it. They can get a water trough or a water bowl dirty faster than I can clean them out. But that's all right. It's all good. Everybody is doing good. The goats, they're all down there in the other pasture. They're doing all right. Rufus, he's just not sure about anything. He's always, I don't know. I'm always curious what's going on in Rufus's head. It's like, is he mad at me? Is he upset? Is he curious? Is he just want me to leave him alone? Want me to get out of here? I don't know. But everybody else, eating peacefully, minding their own business. Got all their food bowls. Speaking of, look at that belly on her. And then you got Rufus. He's just like Mr. Security Guard. He's like, are you gonna leave so I can eat in peace? Huh, Rufus? What do you want, man? So that's gonna wrap it up for the day. Me and this guy are gonna sit here and have a chat. Apparently, he gets very cautious of me when I get a camera out. He's always trying to sneak up behind me. But anyways, got some trash hauled off for the day and made a little cash. Made $123 hauling off scrap iron, and I think I made $150 the other day hauling off scrap iron. So that's less stuff that I have to mow around. And if it's just gonna sit here for 20 years. Clearly, I'm not going to use it. It's time to go switch my water trough around. But anyways, guys, that's all I've got for today. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Y'all have a great day. And as always, we'll see you on the next video.